Hey guys, welcome to another webinar of OpenLM. I'm Sagi, I will be your host, and today's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a bit different than my other webinars because we'll be going over all the little hidden features of OpenLM. Now, when I say hidden features, I mean that many clients just don't know they exist. And once they do know that it's there, they find use for it. So we're going to go over basically all the interface. We're going to go over the hidden secrets in the reports, in the administration. We're going to go over the parts of OpenLM that you probably didn't know exist, or maybe you did. But what are we going to see? Basically, report hidden features. So stored filters, all the different report options. Now we'll also take a look at administration itself. So if you ever wanted to change a package name, a product name, if you ever wanted to create your workdays, hide features, define a privacy policy, everything. So we'll take a look at these edge cases, basically. We'll take a look at these hidden features that not everybody knows they need, but everybody that sees it, they need something from it. So let's take a look at the interface itself. Now, if you have any questions during the webinar, just go ahead, use the questions box, the GoToWebinar questions box. Just type it in there. Once I see it, I'll happily answer any question you might have. So let's start with a few things that you probably didn't know about the interface and the reports. First of all, did you know that you can access the interface outside the license server, the OpenLM server? Now, a lot of clients, they don't know that. They access the server itself, the remote desktop to the server, but all they need to do is simply connect using the hostname. So it's the hostname 7019, which is the port they'd use to connect to, and easy admin. Basically, it's going to this machine through this port asking for easy admin. So it's something that we see often with a lot of clients that simply don't know that they can use it from anywhere. So you can use it, or any other stakeholder can also use it. They don't have to access the machine. Okay, but what do we have here basically? The good old report license usage. Everybody knows it, everybody uses it. But did you know that you can have it open up on a startup? Did you know that you can save a filter, that you don't have to filter everything each time? So let me show you how it's done. First of all, let's say I have this this report, which is pretty nice. Let's change it up a bit. Maybe I want it to be this time span. Okay. Now I don't want to filter the server, the feature, the aggregation. I don't want to do that each time. I might have like many features. So what do? I can simply click here, filter management. Now most people, they don't see it, they miss it. This allows you to store a filter. So let's call it stored filter 1. Now we save it. If you want to reinitiate this, we want to get this filter that we stored, all we need to do is simply click here again, search, and we'll get it from the list. So stored filter number 1. Once you apply it and apply again, it pops up the report that you need. Now this is very useful. This is saved for all the users that you have, not only for you. So you can add stored filters, other people can use them, they can add them, and you can use them. It's very useful. You don't have to go server by server, feature by feature each time. Now that's great. There's a stored filter, but let's say that, okay, I'm lazy and I want a stored filter, or I just want to automate OpenLM. Great. So I got a stored filter, but I want to automate it even more. I want to get this report automatically. I want to get this filter that I created automatically. So there are two ways for me to do it. First of all, let's click on the OpenLM icon right here on the top of the page. I bet you didn't know you can even click that. That basically is the properties of the report. So first thing that we can do, besides minimize, restore, reset layout, all that, add shortcut to desktop. Add shortcut to desktop, and we'll choose the filter that we just created, stored filter. So what are we seeing here? Oh, one moment, please. Sorry about that. So what did we do? We actually put this on the desktop. Which desktop? This one, right here. So clicking here, add shortcut to desktop, selecting the filter that we want, allows us to have an icon here where we simply click it and it automatically loads up the correct filter with the correct report, with the correct filter. No need to do anything else, but just click it. Now, let's say that we want to automate it even more. It's okay. We can store our filters by clicking here. Great. We can add it to the desktop as a shortcut. Can have many shortcuts. Great. Clicking on properties here and checking open at application startup, it will do just that. It will open up when I open up the application with the stored filter or any other filter that I choose. So this way you can have all the reports open up automatically. So I'll just refresh my interface. I'll refresh OpenLM and let's see what it does. So it opened up license server, license usage, denials, utilization, licenses not in use, all the reports that I wanted to open automatically. And they all open, as you see here, already filtered. It's already filtered out. You don't have to filter it yourself. So you just open up the report and let's say you want to see last 7 days. Each time you open it up, you'll see the last 7 days and you don't have to filter it ever again, unless you want a new filter, of course. Now, what else do we have here? How can we customize this a bit more? Okay, we saw how we can automate this report. We saw that we can get a filter. We saw that we can add it to desktop. We can even have it pop up on startup. But maybe we want to change this color. Maybe this red color is, well, it's a hideous color. Maybe we want to change it to blue, to yellow, to red, to green, whatever you want. You simply click here and you can choose the color you want. If you have multiple features that you selected, for each one you will have a different color. So let's select another one. And I have two colors here. So I can have, I don't know, green for this one and maybe red for this one. And I can customize my report as a result. I can also highlight it if I want to highlight one or the other. And at the bottom here, there are a few different aggregations that we have. Let me explain a bit about them. By default, it will show you the maximal values, meaning that a single day, if we aggregate the usage by days, a single day maxed, that means you'll have the maximum per day. You have aggregation, daily aggregation, and you'll see the max. What does that mean? Let's say that you got 10 users and all of them pulled licenses at the same time, but it actually went up to 10 usage for 1 second. That doesn't matter. If you want to see the max, it will show you that the maximum for that day was 10, even if it was like 1 second. Average, it shows you the average, and minimum, of course, minimum usage. Now, you can also show the markers, and what does these markers do? They allow you to visualize where you can click. So if I click on this point, for example, I have the license activity open up, and it shows me all the sessions, what they used, how long were the sessions, if they were borrowed, everything, only by clicking this marker. Now, what else can this do? What else can I show you? This is pretty cool. We found out that we can automate the report. We can have it pop up automatically on the desktop. We can show different aggregations in it, different colors, different schemes. Wonderful. But what do we have here? What are these checkboxes? This is the main report of OpenLM, and most users simply don't know what these checkboxes mean. Let's go over them for a second. Include current usage. Well, that's pretty basic. Who's ever using right now will be included or excluded, depends what you want. Now, this is a doozy. Exclude unconsumed reservations. That's a tongue twister right there. What does that mean? Well, reserved licenses. Let's say you reserved a license for a user or for a group of users. Do you want to see that as used or don't you? Do you want to see that in this report or not? Because the logic goes, if I have reserved licenses, let's say it's reserved for one user and I have 10,000 users, so it's basically used. It's like it's used for the whole time because it's reserved for that user. But if you don't agree with that, then you exclude unconsumed reservations. Okay, so if you want to see reservations as usage, this will be unchecked. If you don't want to see the reservations here at all, you don't care about reservations, there's totally different, there are totally different things than usage, then in that case, you need to exclude it. Now, we have another checkbox here. I'm not going to go over all the filters because you can select the server name, the vendor name, license type, additional key, the feature that you must select, but you can select multiple features and display them together or separately. So for example, now we can see them separately, but let's click on it and apply. Now we see them together, summed up. We see their maximal values summed up together. So let's say you got a few features, or I don't know, a feature in several servers or different packages, you can sum them up together. Now, what's the aggregate usage here? Now, I've also already talked about it, that while aggregating the usage, it shows you basically the maximal value for that, in this case, hour, or the maximal value for day, week, or month. But of course, you can also show it unaggregated, like so. Now, unaggregated shows you the full fluctuations. Now, what I'll need to do is just lower this a bit. And let's see what we get when we don't aggregate the usage. So take a look here. We can actually see each license checkout. It's so granular that we can't really do anything with it. We see that went up to 45 right here, but it's not clear. So what we do is aggregate the usage. Let's aggregate it by days, for example. And I see a clear representation of the maximal amount. But again, this is the maximal amount for that day. If we take a look at hours, we see that it's you have more resolution on it. Per day, less resolution. Now, the last thing that you can do with these reports, besides playing around with this, which is something that most people don't know, but you can also focus. You can also share the reports. You can share a link, which will share a link to this interface, filtering this report out. Or you can just share by email, which will share a link to an email. Or you can schedule it using the report scheduler and simply have the report scheduled each day, each week, whatever you want, send it to your email. What else? What else do we have here? If you go to table, we have export. That's basically the last thing that I want to show you regarding the reports themselves. You can export the report into a CSV file, and then you can kind of play around with the data yourself. I have a question from Arpad. Hey Arpad, can I open multiple windows of the same type, license usage? You're not supposed to be able to, but if you do, then let us know. We have a bug. It's supposed to be just one license usage, instance open. Okay, so what's next? We went over the reports. We saw that we can store the filter and automatically filter them. We saw that we can add a shortcut of them to the desktop. We saw that we can open it at application startup. We can change the colors if we want. We understood what the aggregations are, the different checkboxes. And this is prevalent in all the reports. Now, in denials report right now, what's that? It shows you the amount of denied users, but it also has a filter. So I can click here and get the filter I need, or store a filter I need, of course. Now you can also click here and you can also add it to desktop. You can also open it at application startup, whatever you want. Now all these reports can also be refreshed. So if you just want to keep it open, you don't want to close it ever, you just want to have it refreshed automatically, so you can just click here, auto refresh, and this report will automatically refresh every, in this case, 300 seconds. Okay, what else? We've seen the reports, very useful. Most users don't know these. They don't know that this is clickable. They don't know that they can save filters. But there are a few administration things that we can take a look at. So if we click Start Administration, we get this panel. Now, what does this panel give us? This gives us all the, well, basically administration of OpenLM, all the backside of OpenLM. What do we do now? What am I here to show you? First of all, thing that I've been asked many times: can I show or hide a feature? Can I hide this feature? This feature has an unlimited amount of tokens or of licenses, and people use it just for a second because it's a gateway license or something like that. So I just don't want to see it anywhere in the interface. What can I do? Go to Show Hide Features. Now, this will hold all your features from all your servers. What you can do is simply hide them, show or not, whatever you choose. Now, this is very useful. Now, once you show it or hide it, you probably want to see it in a different description. Like this feature, okay, it's got a nice description, but what if it's a description like this? And you want to change it. You want to add a normal description to it. So what do? You go to product packages, and here you can define the name. So the product name here, I can give it any name I'd like, blah, 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 blah. That will be the product name, or Autodesk 2020, something like that, whatever you want. Once you save it, then it will show up in the features. When you select a feature, it will also show up. When you show the license, when you filter the license activity report, you can also see that product name. Now, let me show you. Let's open up license activity report. Oh. Okay, I'll just do it from here. Let's just open up license activity report. Now, this is a client database, so you see some wonky names here because, well, we gotta respect their privacy, so we kind of changed and encrypted all the names, but it's supposed to have the username itself. So in license activity, we have many different columns. Now we said that we changed the name of one of the columns. We want to see the product name. Like we got the feature name right here, and we got the product name right here. Now this product name is the exact one that you'll put here. You can simply search for the application you need and set its product name. It will be found here. It will be found here as well in the filter. Wherever there's a feature, you'll have a product name as well. Now, what about this report? We see feature, product, all those, but did you know that you can hover here, click on this drop down, and you can, of course, sort it, but you can add columns to it. So let's say that I want to add the version, or I want the IP, I want the session ID, I want the source, I want the first name, last name, email, I want all these details. I can add them as well. Workstation, whatever I want, I can just add. Now, wherever you have a table in OpenLM, you will have that. Doesn't matter. Even in filters, even in the filters, you have it here. You can remove some everywhere. All the tables of OpenLM. License usage, same thing. You can click here and add a column. For example, level of licenses used. Now, once we have these features, and we gave them the product name that you want, you call them exactly what you need. Now, might be that you have some features which are packaged. Now, OpenLM automatically packages them. If you have your license file being read by the broker, then the license file contains all that, the packaging information, meaning which features you have and how are they packaged. But sometimes this information is not in OpenLM, or it's not in a license file. It's just something that the vendor told you, hey, you got these features. It's a part of this package. So you can define this. You can define a package. Let's say, well, let's take a look at this, Atoms. Atoms all the way to the bottom, all these features of Atoms. Now, all these features of Atoms are actually a part of a package of Campus. So we see it here. The parent package is Campus. So this feature, parent package, Campus. This feature, parent package, Campus. So all these features under the same parent, these are actually one package. And if someone gets a license from here, from here, from here, doesn't matter. It will be, for all intended purposes, for the statistics, it will be just the same feature, just the package. Now, once you do a change, you need to set it as is fixed, meaning that nothing will be able to change it, even if it comes from the license file, that the package is different, you can have it fixed. It will not move, it will not change. Okay, so that's pretty basic. You want to change product names, you can do it here. You want to set well, let's say a custom package, you can do it here. Set every feature with the correct parent package, and they'll all be grouped, and OpenLM will consider them as a single package and act accordingly. What else? So as far as administration goes, we've seen that we can show or hide different features that we want. We can add product names, and we can package licenses. Now, there are a few more capabilities to OpenLM. For example, Cleanup Manager. Let's say that your database is getting too big. Just go to the Cleanup Manager, select the historical time span you want to delete, and just run it. Just deletes the data. Something else that we have here that you should definitely check and define is working hours. If you define working hours, then in the reports, you'll be able to filter them out, and it will give you the correct statistics. So administration, administration, working days, and hours, you can set the working days. For example, for us, it's Sunday through Thursday. First day of the week, Sunday, working hours, 8 until 5:30. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is checkout policy. This is something else that you probably didn't know that you have, because OpenLM takes care of it automatically. Now, what is checkout policy? Checkout policy means what defines a duplicate license. If you open up two instances of AutoCAD on the same machine with the same user, is that two licenses or just one? If you open up two instances of AutoCAD on the same machine, but using two different users, let's say it's a Citrix or something, is that two licenses used or just one? What if you use from multiple machines and it's time-based? So we got different policies for different licenses. Now, let's go to my live system right here. Let's go check out the policies. Let's go check out the checkout policies and see what we get. So if it's already present in the license file, then it's being put here and it's taken into account per license file, per the vendor license file. For example, user host vendor, that means that if I try to take a license with the different users on the same host, then it will be duplicate, meaning that the same user, that just one user on a single host for a single vendor will mean one license. But, for example, let's take Siemens PRF, which I don't have anything set for it. I can define it. I can say that it's defined by the user. Doesn't matter. The user grabs the license, and he can grab as many licenses he wants on as many machines he wants, and that's it. Or it can be by process, or user in process, or just the host name, whatever you want. You can define the checkout policy to be correct. So OpenLM will know how to calculate the data. Because if it will find two sessions of, let's say, a license, that it's per user, not per workstation, then that user will have different sessions from many different hosts, And OpenLM should get it only as one usage, not as many sessions. That's one example that we can use. Now, that's basically it. I've been talking for about half an hour, showing you different things that you didn't know or did know about OpenLM. Well, there are many more things. Like here you got total usage time. I didn't get a chance to talk about true denials yet, which is a pretty big difference, like you see here. There are many things to show: line chart, pie chart, many secrets, many different buttons and hidden secrets that, well, clients usually don't find in the OpenLM interface. So I really hope that I helped you find something that you didn't already know that OpenLM has. Went over a lot. I hope that I touched on one thing at least. Now I would like to hear from you guys. Use the questions box of GoToWebinar and just ask away. Ask any questions you'd like regarding what you've seen, regarding other parts of OpenLM. Just go ahead. This is your time now. Oh, thank you, Martin. Wayne has a question. How do we limit permissions? For example, do not want a user of EasyAdmin to clear database. Okay, so that you can find with the roles and permissions extension. So you'll need to go to OpenLM license in administration, OpenLM license, and check if you have roles and permissions. So it is, let's try and find it, role-based security, this one. So I see when it expires, my quantity, and if you have that, that means you'll be able to initiate the roles and security. Now, this is only if you want to have different users see different things in OpenLM. Maybe you just want to have a password to OpenLM. You don't want different users to see different things. You just want yourself to see everything and everybody just can't see anything. So if you want to block off access, you can just go to System Security, and require login credentials. And then you'll have the credentials that you've seen me log into. You can have this system set up, and then users will not be able to access the system. But if you want to show them different things for different stakeholders, so first of all, you need to set this up, the login credentials. Then each user will be able to log in using their own credentials. Either you set up their own credentials, you go to the user, you click on the user, you change password or reset password, or if you're connected to the Active Directory, you just get their users IIS authentication credentials. Just get everything into OpenLM and uses that. So if they want to access OpenLM, they can do so using their own user, their own Windows authenticated user. They don't even have to remember another password. They just, click here and it automatically connects because it's using that Windows user. Now the roles, what it can do, let's take the admin role, for example, go to resources, and we got many different resources here, like show groups, show host groups, show IPs, and I can allow or deny that user from seeing that. It's not a user, it's a role. I can add to that role different groups or different users. Okay, how do I filter out users that show multiple denials within 1-2 minutes and just show it as one denial instead of multiple denials? Okay, Jeff, very good question. So let's go to denials. And there's true denials. Show true denials. Now, what's the difference? What's a true denial? Just to explain to everybody, let's say that I'm an engineer and I want to get a license, but I was denied. So what do? I try to get the license again and again and again and again and again and again. So within the span of 1 minute, if that guy tries to get the license again and again and again, it will be counted just as one denial, not as many denials. So let's take a look at the data here. Now it spikes at 26 denials because I'm showing true denials only. Now let's remove that and apply. Now you see that it spikes at 48. Why? Because the false denials were grouped. So if I want to see only true denials, it shows me exactly one denial for that minute where that user tried to get the license. Oh, hey, Torsten. Might have missed it, but on the license usage report, how do you get the chart options to the right side? Okay, let's go to license usage report, chart options to the right side. Okay, so actually, this is a new version. In the new version, the chart options are on the side. Before it was at the top, if you remember. But in version, which version is this? 4.7, the latest version, it's actually to the side. Now, you can change the filter itself. So if you want to filter on the left, at the bottom, on the right, you can change that as well. Okay, any other questions? Any more? Anybody want to know anything? Oh, what happened here? Is LM project taken into account? What do you mean? Taken into account where? Can you see the variables for different users? We do have the projects extension, if this is what you're asking, but I think that you're not pointing me to that direction. Can you please elaborate? Okay, so you are. We do have projects extension. Basically, what happens? Yeah, I'll forget about it, but let me quickly show you. What they need to do, they install the agent, and they can, once they open up AutoCAD or any application that's monitored, then they get like a pop-up where they select which project they're currently working on. Now this, I can add a new one, but it will be popping up and saying select. In your case, not something that you can work with. It's not available for SaaS. It's available for on-prem. It seems there is a method without the agent. I'm afraid not. You'll need the agent itself. If you're talking about, let me go there. You're talking about this one, projects. This project, and also we have another one right here. So you can decide to log project's information. You can support environment variables here, or use OpenLM project. Now I think this will give you the solution that you need, because this does not require the OpenLM agent, if I'm not mistaken. And then the projects that you set are here. Oh no, this also requires the agent. It goes to the environmental variables on the machine, on the end user workstation. So yeah, you can either use OpenLM projects or LM projects that you have there. No problem, Torsten. Anything else, guys? Okay, so have a great day, guys. Thank you for joining me on this webinar. I hope that you learned, well, at least something new about OpenLM. I see some very old clients that probably can teach me about OpenLM. So anyway, thank you very much for joining, and have a great day. If you have any questions, anything, just contact us. You can go to the OpenLM website. Just go to About Us, Contact Us, and you can either send us an email, contact support, call us up over the phone, or just click here on the right and initiate a new online chat. So you can call us up and we'll quickly answer. And that's it. Thanks, guys. Bye. Bye, Torsten. Okay, so I see we remain just a few. I will have to close the session now. So thank you very much for joining. Have a wonderful day. Bye.